You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks again for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. Hello, I'm Stephen Willis from the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. He's Derek Vandygriff. He's Mr. Baseball. He is joining us. We're going to talk some uniforms. We're going to talk pitching coach. We're going to talk Doug Nikhazy, and we're going to talk Texas A&M getting done dirty by Texas as well. Anyway, how you doing, Derek?
Pretty good, man. How about you?
I'm doing all right. I can't complain too much. You are the guinea pig. You are the first one that pops up. We're going to put this video out tonight, and everybody will say, whoa, Steve's in a different location. But I'm testing for next week because I'll have to broadcast with this remote setup. So I had to go today. I'm going to pack it up after we're all done, and then it'll be there for us to hit the road on Friday. So what all you got going on, man?
Man, not a whole lot. I would like to say that this is the first time that you don't absolutely put me to shame with your backdrop. So that's nice to kind of be the first one here with that. So I do appreciate that to kind of give me the leg up on the backdrop this time, at least, with all the memorabilia you always have in your studio. So, but no, not a whole lot going on here, man. Just hot as the devil here in North Mississippi. Had us a storm roll through just a minute ago, so that was nice. Supposed to cool it off to a nice 90 degrees after this is all gone. So I look forward to that.
Yeah, it's hot down here, but it feels a whole lot better knowing that at the end of July, Disney is bringing back kind of the Fast Pass system. So if anybody remembers what Disney used to kind of be like, now instead of Genie Plus, it'll look a lot more like the Fast Pass system. So I'm looking forward to that at the end of the month as well. You know, Florida down here and North Mississippi, that's not the only fire places right now that is going on because Ole Miss's uniform, it kind of heated up the internet the other day with just a top 5 level college football jersey that Ole Miss put out.
Yeah, man, it's incredible, right? There's so many things you can do with that powder blue. That's why it's always been my favorite color. I love when they started integrating that into the color schemes with uniforms. When we debuted the powder blue Chucky Mullins helmets back against Memphis several years ago, I've been a season ticket holder for 29 years or whatever it was, and that was one of the first home games I'd missed in well over a decade. They didn't let it be known that they were putting those helmets out, and I agreed to go to Washington, D.C. that weekend, unfortunately, and I had to watch it from a bar. And to say that I caught a whole lot of hell from the people we tailgated with and went to games with throughout that entire game, because it's all I talked about for years was to bring back those Chucky Mullins powder blue type helmets, and they did it there against Memphis. But they've gone above and beyond since then, though, right? With the real tree helmets with the powder blue in them, and now these uniforms with the powder and the white. It's just incredible. Love the uniforms, love everything about them. You're not going to hear me say one bad thing about anything, pants, jersey, helmet, none of it. Looked incredible, just outstanding job by whoever put those things together. Kiffin Athletic Department, Nike. I'm sure it was a collaboration of some kind between all of them, but they absolutely hit it out of the park. And Ole Miss is kind of becoming the new uniform U a little bit, right? With all the different combinations and all they've been putting out. And this is just another one to put in the chamber, so to speak, for us. I'm excited to see them.
But unlike Oregon and unlike some of the other ones, Ole Miss doesn't have to cheat. Every uniform that Ole Miss has is based in their catalog and in their history.
Right.
It's not something where you're like Florida just making up black. It's like, hey, we need to wear black one game. It's like, you have beautiful uniforms. Use that scheme. No.
Yeah. Or Auburn busting out powder blue uniforms out of nowhere all of a sudden, right? That's kind of our thing. So y'all stay over there on the plains. Y'all leave us alone. Leave the powder to us.
Well, let's change the subject a little bit real quick to baseball. Ole Miss hired a pitching coach since the last time I talked to you. He is from the Cleveland Guardians organization. And if anybody knows anything about Major League Baseball, it is that Cleveland puts out pitchers. That's what they do.
All the time.
And so this gets me kind of excited about what could happen. Doug Nikhazy, who just got promoted up to AAA in the Guardians organization, spoke very highly about this guy. What do you know about this coach?
Yeah, Joel Mangrum. He's a Mississippi guy, right? Coming back to his home state to coach at Ole Miss. Like you said, there's such a good reputation with the Cleveland organization when it comes to pitchers. They just keep churning them out year after year after year. You keep seeing guys coming up through the minors, making it to the major leagues and finding success. And this guy's been over all minor league pitching for the past 4 years for Cleveland. And then you look in their system, you got guys like Doug Nikhazy, Dylan DeLucia, another one, finally got back on the mound last Friday, had a good pro debut after having Tommy John surgery. Both of them spoke very highly about Joel Mangrum, and I'm excited for him to get to Oxford and dig his teeth in, so to speak, on this pitching staff. There's a lot of talented arms here in Oxford, more coming in. But, just what could he do with Liam Doyle, Wes Mendez, Riley Maddox if he comes back, Mason Nichols if he ends up coming back. A ton of talent there, a guy with a really good reputation for not only coaching pitchers, developing them. That's one thing that we've kind of been spinning our tires on a little bit these last few years since the national championship. We haven't had pitchers develop the way that they have under Mike Bianco during his tenure. Maybe this will shake things up a little bit, get us back going in the right direction as far as developing these really, really talented guys that seem to hit a plateau at some point in the program. So ready for them to get down here and get started and see what the results will be, because I think it's going to be really nice to see.
Thanks again for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first and listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. When we come back, Texas A&M did dirty by Texas, and we'll break all of that down in just a second. But first, Gametime is the place to get all of your MLB tickets. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, and views from your seats, their lowest price guarantee, Gametime takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. They have views from all the seats in the venue, lowest price guarantee, events cancellation, job loss protection, basically all the customer service stuff you could want. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Passion, drive, and patience, the formula for winning championship, is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. And with over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay's Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back, because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home some huge wins. So keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay's Guaranteed Fit is only available to U.S. customers. Are you watching Fox Sports or ESPN on your TV all day and you have to turn down the volume with all of that shouting? Make the switch to Locked On Sports today. It's a free 24/7 sports streaming channel programmed for you each and every single day to bring you the biggest stories without all of that screaming. Locked On Sports today brings you can't-miss analysis, opinions, and news streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. So, Derek, Jim Schlossnagle was the head coach at Texas A&M. He was eliminated by Tennessee in the College World Series in 3 games. In the post-game press conference, somebody from Texags asked him about some rumors they was hearing about how maybe he was looking at going to Texas, and he took that opportunity to pine box it. And Ole Miss fans should know exactly what I'm talking about. But he just basically said the only way I'm leaving is in a pine box. Less than 24 hours later, he was named the head coach of Texas. Basically, this is a horrible look for Jim Schlossnagle. But the Texas A&M and Texas game on Saturday after Ole Miss and State is now must-see television.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. More than that baseball series next year is going to be a lot of fun. I think I saw where it's in College Station next year, Texas A&M and Texas for baseball. So I might actually get tickets, just go down there and watch the show at that point. Just not even caring about who wins the baseball game. But what Jim Schlossnagle did.
They've had like 6 players hit the portal today, though. A&M could be in bad shape.
Yeah, they absolutely could. And I'm sure some of them are going to make their way down to Austin and follow Jim down there, along with the entire coaching staff, right? But what he did in that press conference, though, after I saw what he said to the Texas Ag reporter, my first thought was, oh, my God, he's gone. And then he's sitting here just blatantly lying to people with just the way he said it made me think that he knew he was gone and that he was going to end up taking the job. And obviously he did. But it could have all been avoided. He could have handled it so much better. It could have been as simple as our season just ended 30 minutes ago. I'm not here to talk about rumors and this, that, and the other, and left it at that. And then he could have gone about his merry way to Austin, Texas after that, instead of sitting there putting down that reporter, because he knew what he had heard, obviously, and that's why he asked the question. And he could have deflected it and not given any answer whatsoever, really, given a bit of a word salad and gone about his day. But hated to see the way he handled that situation just to leave. But, yeah, A&M's had several players hit the portal. Like I said, I'm sure some of them are going to Austin. That being said, I would like to take this time out to tell every Ole Miss baseball fan, if you're not a member of the Growth Collective, right now is one hell of a time to do it. There are some players out there that we could really use in Oxford, Mississippi. Jace Lavalette, Lord Tubbington himself would be one hell of an outfielder.
Jeff Kent's son's in the portal.
Yeah. We can get Jeff Kent's son in here too. A lot of really talented guys. The freshman third baseman, Gravicek or whatever his name is. I don't know how to pronounce it, but he was SEC Freshman of the Year. I know we have Andrew Fisher coming back. We'll find a spot for him, I promise. So if you're not a member of the Growth Collective, go sign up now. Give money, give Mike and the guys all the ammunition they need to go out here and try to steal one or two of these players. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Texas A&M is going to make a good hire, though, right? They're going to back up the Brinks truck, so to speak. They're going to get a high-level coach. The donors are going to be willing to pour money into the program to retain players. Just because they're in the transfer portal doesn't mean they're gone. They can still come back. So they're going to be motivated to give to the baseball program, try to get some of them back, go into the portal, buy more players themselves. I'm sure you're going to see players from Texas jump in the portal too, because if these guys start going to Austin, then there's only so many spots to have. And so the numbers are going to end up working out. But not a fan of the way Jim did this, though. Just kind of come back to your original question. And honestly, I'd have a hard time as a parent sending my kid to play for a guy like Jim Schlossnagle after what he did to Texas A&M, because it's obviously something that's been in the works for a while. I doubt after the national championship game, he woke up the next morning, Texas called him, hammered out a deal, and then he convinced every assistant he had to pack up and move on a whim down to Austin with him. So obviously something that's been in the works. So could have handled it a lot better. And but yeah, that game this year, football, baseball, whatever it is, that rivalry is about to get out of control. And quite frankly, for the first time, I'm glad that I'm not a part of the most heated rivalry in America, where I can just sit back and enjoy it instead of have to sit through it as a fan.
Yeah, somebody said that this game just became Texas A&M Super Bowl. And I was like, no, this game was already Texas A&M Super Bowl. This game just became the 2017 Egg Bowl.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. Anyway, thank you for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team, every single day. Derek, thank you very much for coming on, and we will talk to you later, buddy.
All right, bud. I'll see you next Tuesday.